All right, so I want to apologize for my really boring PowerPoint, but it's going to help keep me on track, hopefully, today. This week, we're going to start to turn to how food can inform and shape, and at the same time, kind of communicate a person's identity. Last week, we were thinking of culture, so people together. And this week, we're looking at the self or the individual. The film that we look at this week, you're going to hopefully see how food and the people who made the film use food to help give us hints about a person's identity. Um, I remember that film Ocean's 11. I don't know if you remember the Brad Pitt character was always eating, no matter what the scene. So it was like, what are they trying to tell us about this guy? Or was it just fun? Um, so this week we're going to turn to identity. You have very few resources, but they are all really important. So we're going to look at the film. We're going to look at that great piece from Bauer, or Dinner and a Film. And these are all really important pieces to kind of help us think about identity. I have one of my older writings up there, and I'm not doing that because I think it's awesome. I'm doing that because it fits in perfectly with this week. So when we start to think about identity, there's a couple of things that I want to make sure that we all understand. One, we're not born with identity. It's constructed. It's always being made. It's always being built. It's built by the kind of family that we grow up in. It's built by the culture in which we were raised. So it's very much a constructed thing. Because it's constructed, it's dynamic. It's always in process. And you say to me, no, it's not. I'm the same person. And I'd ask you to think of a life event. Maybe a happy one like the birth of a child, or a sad one like a catastrophe. That event can change your identity moving forward. I know becoming a mom completely changed who I was. But if you think of something horrible happening to someone, from that moment on, they are truly a different person. And so our identity is constantly being created and constantly shifting. And it's relational. So we build our identity in relationships, in terms of our family relationships, our cultural relationships, our geographic relationships. All of these things inform, shape, and construct our identities, whether we like it or not. You never, ever, ever should put large amounts of text on a PowerPoint and then read them. But this just really, this is from another work. It really kind of consolidates all of these ideas that I'm trying to get across here. And what we want to now do is connect that, the dynamic nature of identity, to food, and how food actually shapes identity in different places. So I'll pause to let you pause. But we're going to look at, as a quick example here, this is a person in the United States. So she's an American, she's Christian, she loves the Cubs, and she speaks English and all these other things. And one of the things that I'd like to suggest is, so often when we assert our identity or we define it, we're actually identifying against something else. And so I'm American because I'm not Canadian. This is actually coming a lot in our discourse. I am one thing because I identify strongly with this because I am not that. And you see people do that occasionally. You also see that people do that, though, with food. I mean, think of me. I struggle with the word vegan because that means, what am I telling you? I'm telling you what I do not eat. So in some ways, I'm telling you who I am by what I am not. And so these kind of negative assertions, when you talk about food, and how we identify against certain foods, is something that we want to watch as we go through this week and then into the religious weeks especially, and kind of think about that. So hopefully this helps you a little bit, and I hope you enjoy this week. It's always a fun one. Thank you.